Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Shipshe Stories podcast, Tales from the Heart of Amish Country. And we're sitting down with Lora Gates, the Director of Marketing and Customer Experience. She's literally right over there from the Visitor Center. You can't see me pointing, but I'm like a hop, skip, and a jump away from where we are now. Lora, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. I'm doing great myself. I'm doing wonderful. It's busy. The weather's warming up. People are out and about. And that's mainly what we're here to talk about is with this warmer weather, with things being nice outside, and basically how this whole town got started has to do with your background with the trading place, auction, flea market. You do a lot of things. So first of all, before we jump into that, tell us about who you are.
So as you had already mentioned, I'm the Director of Marketing and Customer Experience for Shipshewana Trading Place. So what does that mean? It really means that I get the opportunity to share with all of our customers and potential visitors everything there is to do at Shipshewana Trading Place, everything from our seasonal flea market that's open May through September, our weekly antique auctions, our livestock auctions, which is really how we got started back in 1922. So it's still very relevant today, part of the food industry and part of our agricultural, pull and feel here in Shipshewana. We also have an RV park and service center, as well as a restaurant, as well as the Farmstead Inn and Expo Barn and Conference Center. So we have a lot going on. And managing and juggling all of that is exactly what I do.
Exactly. And juggling all that, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're a hop, skip, and a jump. But basically, everything you're doing is right next door. What you can get within everything within like a 2-minute walk, maybe.
Yes, absolutely. So we're all right on one site, which makes it really convenient for the visitor to come in and enjoy all of those things at one time.
Yes. So a little bit more about your background. So Director of Marketing and Customer Experience. But how did you land where you are today?
Oh, I'll give you the 2-minute or 60-second elevator pitch. How's that? I originally started in graphic design way back when I graduated high school.
Really?
From there, loved that, went into the printing industry for 7 years. So I got a lot of my design and the creative aspect from that, and then went into healthcare marketing and public relations for 14 years. So I'm starting to date myself and show you my age. But then I got the great opportunity about 11 years ago to move into tourism and hospitality within Shipshewana. And that's exactly kind of my career path.
Okay, that's awesome. The graphic design to just basically running a monopoly industry, gigantic conglomeration of everything that visitors come to experience in town. And do you still get to do any graphic design? I'm just curious myself.
I do. And actually, sometimes I have someone who does that, but sometimes I do it just because it is fun. It is part of my passion and keeps me excited about the design work for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So you mentioned that the animal auction was basically what kicked off this whole thing. So do you want to speak about that a little bit more about its beginnings and where it's evolved to today?
Yeah, absolutely. So back in 1922, there was the sale of a few animals here at Shipshewana Auction. And that started, businesses such as the food. So every Wednesday, there's a story kind of on our back side of the website. You can read a little bit more about that in detail if you want to visit ShipshewanAFleaMarket.com. But it tells about how the restaurant started in a garage. So every week, the individual owner then pulled his car out. They swept out the garage. The ladies from a local church served burgers. I can't remember the price right now, but probably 30 some cents a piece. They made their own ketchup. They did everything, old school and homemade back then. And it developed over time, a lot of animals, again, being sold. Then each week, organically, I always like to share that part of the story. Organically, people came and started selling things. It was like a swap meet, right? So they were selling things out of their cars. That then gradually grew into our weekly antique auctions. So items would be sold every week, as well as the flea market. So both of those developed there a different way of buying items, which we both have today. So buying at the flea market where items are priced by our vendors, or bidding at auction on Wednesdays. And so that continued to develop. It probably took about 25 years after the livestock sale rather started, that the flea market and the antique auction really started to develop, and then really grew and kind of hit a very large peak, maybe even in the 25-year range ago. And now with a little bit of change in retail sales, as everyone knows, there's a lot of opportunities to buy things online. We love, though, to share that you can come and experience our vendors. We have 400 to 600 small business owners out here every week on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, May through September. You can learn their stories, you can see them, you can touch and feel their products. A lot of our shoppers come back every year to see the same vendors because they love the relationships they've developed. And so if I were to encourage you to do something, that's what I would do, is find those vendors that you love, find the products you love, support small businesses, and do that at Shipshewana Flea Market.
Yeah, and that's the whole atmosphere of the town is just this community togetherness, people bringing their wares, shop owners. I mean, you even have shop owners that have been in town for forever, it feels like, that come to sell their wares at the flea market, right?
Oh, absolutely. Some of the shop owners were vendors, and they've now taken on the retail space, or they do both. We have vendors and shops downtown, so it really works very well together, and that has been part of what the whole aspect of the flea market and the town have been. We know that we're successful because of everything else going around, as well as the flea market itself. We love that we are the Midwest's largest flea market, but we also know that it takes a lot of our community partners to make us what we are.
Yeah, exactly. It's all, again, community. It comes back to community. That's what everyone I've talked to so far has been, hitting hard. Is just this togetherness, this authenticity of the town. And often you go online yourself. We'll talk about your YouTube. You're on the YouTube channel. I've seen you out there at the auction center, the flea market and everything, talking to different vendors. And I see them light up when you come by because they recognize you, but they also recognize the value of, setting up shop and meeting all these individual customers that come by. And these people come from all over, right?
Yeah, we have people from, oh my goodness. I mean, I like to say the Midwest, but we have people who come and shop regularly from Georgia, Texas. Some of these individuals, like with the antique auction, which I love and I think is a hidden treasure for us. Mm-hmm. There are completely different items out there every single Wednesday, antiques, collectibles, that some shop owners from various states away, 6-7 states away, have shared with me that I can't find these things anywhere near me. So this is why we travel 8-10 hours, because we know we can find these unique products out here. And then they actually take them back to their own antique stores and shops and sell them at their hometown.
Interesting. Okay. That's a bit of a behind the scenes thing I was not aware of. So that's fun. Do you yourself see routine visitors that may come from hours away? Okay. Yeah. So you have, and you also you mentioned the RV park. So these people that drive 10, 12, ridiculous hours sometimes in their RVs, they can post up right outside and then walk over to the flea market and auction.
They absolutely can. And a fun story about the RV park itself. The RV park was started really for the vendors. We had so many vendors, right, who were coming and selling here. They had their own campers. So we started the RV park with, I would say, about 10 years ago, which is not that long ago. It used to be an honor system. You just came, pulled in, left your money in an envelope, and pulled out when you were ready to roll. So we have changed and updated with the time, so you can reserve spaces ahead of time. But when I started here, it was the funniest thing. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, people would call and say, is there space in the RV park? And we physically had to drive out on a golf cart and go, okay, there's one space left, or there are 2 spaces left. And that is a disservice to the whole customer experience part of things, right? That was a disservice to those traveling from, like you said, 8-10 hours away. Like, I'm not going to drive my RV here and not know I have a space to stay right on the flea market grounds, because where am I going then? So we did implement and have made some improvements, in the regards of making sure that digital reservation system is available, as well as the Farmstead Inn, which we have a beautiful hotel across the road as well, for our camping and for our overnight guests. And now we have a new Airbnb right on site as well. So you can have small groups or large families to stay right in a private Airbnb right on the grounds in a beautiful home that's completely remodeled.
And okay, you got to name the name of the Airbnb and where you can go to register, of course.
Farmhouse on Farver, farmhouseonfarver.com.
It's a beautiful place. I've walked by it. I've been inside, toured it. It's a lovely little place. So go check it out. We'll post all the links to the bookings and websites and social medias you can in the comment section, and you can go check it out for yourself. Now, you mentioned the hotel. Before we get back to the hotel, I want to talk about the live auctions. We kind of hinted at it. So I was in there. Well, I've been in there multiple times, but I was in there the other week, just kind of head down listening to 7 to 9 live auctioneers going on at once. If you've never been a part of this, it's the most unique experience I think I've ever been a part of. It's thrilling, it's engaging, there's people raising and shouting their hands. It's crazy. So what is that side of it?
So that side is so fun. I come from knowing and going to auctions where you sat all day, right, for an estate sale, and you had one auctioneer selling items, and one piece by one piece, right? Or that's the estate sale that takes 4 to 6 hours. When I first came here and saw the 6 to 9 auctioneers selling at the same time, there is such an excitement that gets inside you, especially if you have an item that you want to bid on. And if you are there to bid on an item and you want it, you're going to pay no matter what. I have gone out and I've had people post. I've gone out, there was some Pyrex a couple of years ago that I wanted, and I just kept bidding and kept bidding, and I was willing to go a little higher. Now, I didn't pay hundreds of dollars. I think I paid $80 for 3 pieces. But it was part of the thrill was, I want to win that bid. So I just kept bidding. And when I did, I was so excited. It was like winning the Super Bowl at the end. There's such an excitement and fun to spending that money out there, especially if it's something you like and want. And you can view those items on Auction Zip through our website. So there's posts there. You can look at them in advance. You can see a little bit of what sells out there. But I will say it is fun to get out there, raise your hand, do some bidding, and find a unique treasure that, quite honestly, sometimes you can't find anywhere else. I've never seen these pieces before. I did have some naysayers say I would never have paid that for that, but it's worth what you're willing to bid. And that's kind of the fun of the auction. You know when you can cut it off, and you know how high you're willing to go.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's just feeling that rush, feeling that thrill of just, I could get this. How high is it going to go? So literally last week, there was someone like walked out with a scooter, like an electric scooter. I've never seen that before. And I was like, what? So there's so many things you could get there. So many things. I actually want to go bid on a barrel because I want a kitchen table barrel top. So next time you see a barrel, please let me know.
I absolutely will. But there's so much out there that you can buy, repurpose, or just use as is. It's super exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's a fun place to be. Literally, if you haven't been to the auction or flea market or the trading place or the restaurant or Farmhouse on Farver or the Farmstead Inn, I could just keep talking. There's so many things to do. Make it a weekend. Make it a week-long thing. Come out here, stay Saturday through Wednesday to get the full-on experience of everything. So you do a lot, Laura. Would you say, I like to ask this to everybody. So to maybe a traveler who's not been to Shipshewana, what would you say to have them visit?
I definitely, once again, just going back to the heart of the community, there is so much to do here. We would love them to come and spend 100% of their time at the flea market, at the auction, and at the farmstead. We know, though, that's they can stay longer if they do those other things. So there are things in the area that I would not want to discourage them from participating in, like the entertainment at the Blue Gate and the Mech. The other area things to do, like the outdoor pumpkin vine trail, the parks, the canoeing. That's one of my favorites personally. We canoe every summer. We absolutely love it. Just get out there and float around. My husband likes to paddle fast. I like to paddle slowly. So we argue about that, but we always make it back super fast. So besides coming to the flea market and to the auction, which obviously I would heavily encourage, spending a weekend, spending a few days away, it's worth the vacation time, to come and spend that time with your family, break away from the technology, take a little bit of a step back in time to just spend that quality one-on-one time with your kids, with your family, with whomever. Maybe it's by yourself. Maybe you just need a getaway to escape and, get away from the rat race of the daily grind. It's a great place to do that. You can do it for a few days. You can do it for an overnight, but it's a good vacation place to be. So that's exactly what I would share. And I would recommend, I said, I wish I could always tell every visitor this. There are a lot of spaces at the flea market. If you could do one thing for yourself, do your research ahead of time, find that directory online, or when you get here, grab a directory. If you can, ask for one through your hotel, through the Farmstead, we have them available. Do a little bit of pre-work, select 10 or 12 places you want to go so that you don't wander aimlessly looking at things you're not interested in. I'd rather you find exactly what you're looking for. And I give that recommendation to every visitor because you'll have the best experience possible when you've done a little bit of homework.
Yes, 100%. And just the first time I was out there, I won't lie, it was a bit overwhelming. It was just, there's a lot to experience. It's like going to an outdoor convention, but there is so much to see and do. And if you just like I got the special privilege of riding on Lora's golf cart, but you may not have that. But there's just, take a day, go out and walk, see all the vendors. There's something there for everybody. There literally is. Like, I was looking at sunglasses. There's a gemstone stand. There's a bunch of old antique, wood table, decorative stuff for your home. It's a very unique and wonderful experience.
And don't forget the farmers market.
Mm-hmm.
That's a popular one. So the farmers market would be our plant and produce section. And so when the start of season comes, people are looking for their plants for Mother's Day. That's usually what kicks it off. And then throughout the whole season, they're specifically asking, when are the strawberries in? When are the apples in? When are the peaches in? There's this, I think it's a Michigan peach. I can't remember the name right now. The blueberries. There's a season for everything. And people are out here looking for those to either take home and enjoy, to can, to freeze. So we really have a great selection of local area produce and plants all season long.
Local, authentic, good old fashioned fun time. Love to see it. Love to talk to you, Lora. Is there anything else you'd like to say or leave anyone with?
Other than we would love to have you. And when you're here, your family with us. That's all I would have to say there. Just come and enjoy and let us be a part of your escape from wherever it is you are escaping.
Exactly. It's a fun, good escape. Fun, good getaway. Lora, thank you so much for taking the time today. I know you're extremely busy. I literally ran into you yesterday. You just waved at me as you were talking. So you're always busy. Folks, come on by, give Lora a wave, hang out at the flea market, hang out at the auction, book a room at the farmstead or barber house. There's lots to do, lots to see. Lora, thank you so much.
Thank you.